historian. And
Yeah.
this young man by the name Aloysius never want to show his face because look ugly. So he's my IT director, genius. Actually, he's a genius. I will talk to you later. We have developed a lot of new thing for IR4.0. I think that is something good for UTHM to understand as well. So anyway, yeah, you have to pay to see his face. So he have to switch it off. Okay.
So we invite him for another session.
Okay, let me stop sharing. So, Dr. Nafa, the school already reopened, or everybody work from home and logged in from home?
Now is we are in semester break, so the students.
Oh, yeah.
The students not yet in the campus, but they are available at home. But we plan to gradually invite the student to come back to the campus.
Supposedly, when will that?
I think it will start in 15th of October, somewhere around there, in the middle of October.
Okay.
So maybe.
So basically, okay. Sorry. Afterward, I think you will do a simple intro. Then I'll go into my topics. I have two topics.
Yes.
Two topics. Topic one with some subtopics. The topic ones will end by 10 o'clock, and then we take a break about 5 or 10 minutes. We play by ears, and then we follow by the second topic. The second topic will take about 30 minutes, and then we leave about 15 minutes for Q&A. And then wrap up. I think that will end by 11. That's the whole original plan.
All right.
So
I think I would like also to allow the student, if they want to interrupt you during the presentation.
Of course.
I assure they will be more interactive way if we can do it like that, right?
Yeah. Of course, I think I like it. This is what the webinar is meant for. And as I said, I'll keep on talking. I'll check, But anyway, feel free to interrupt at any one time whenever you feel like it. We have this is a very special distinguished guest, Tan Sri Kochukun, our former Chief Minister of Penang.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm honored.
Morning, Tan Sri.
I'm honored for him to join us because I informed him that I have a webinar today with UTHM. And Tan Sri, again, as a distinguished person, free up himself and meet his busy schedule to join. So it's an honor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is...
Yeah, so I better be very cautious not to speak something.
It's okay.
Actually, Dr. Nafa actually is an associate professor in UTHM, and he's from Penang. If I'm not mistaken.
No, I'm from Perlis.
I see, he's a Penang. You see, actually, you see, Penang, we lost so many talent. We lose so many talents to other states. You should pull Dr. Nafa back to Penang.
He's from Perlis, you see.
Perlis, yes.
Oh, Perlis. Okay, North Malaysia. Okay.
Yeah. But I think we have many. We can see many talent in USM, right? Especially on this E&E related area.
Yeah. Is it Safi? Oh, okay. Now, after the video, then I go into my presentation. Then I think that's okay already. Because I just want to make sure that I don't kalang kabut.
So we wait for a while, okay? This case, so maybe we start 1 or 2 minutes past 9 while waiting to join.
So Dr. Nafar, what keeps you busy nowadays?
Sorry,
What keeps you busy?
Now we are in the middle of applying the ISO 70025 for the lab accreditation.
Oh, okay.
So we just finished our internal audit on the technical side. So this weekend we have another session of audit on the quality management on the documentation side. So
Okay.
little bit hassle with this. Yeah, you know, ISO is all about documentation, right?
Yeah. It's not easy. Is it a compulsory for all the university to have that certified?
No, it's just as one of our way to do the promotion, because when we have that ISO 70025, you can do a lot of testing that is required by the EU. If you want to do some, I think one of the available facility for this ISO standard characterization is in Syrian. So we can be another party instead. If for southern region, if they don't want to go to Syrian in KL, so they can just send their product in UTHM so that they can do the testing.
Oh, okay. It's for
ISO standard in the southern
your
region.
technical lab. Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So we have the anechoic chamber that we can do this kind of electromagnetic compatibility testing. You know, it's a full scale of anechoic chamber. So if you come into that chamber, you have no handphone signal at all. So which is very interesting inside there.
Yeah, I've been to your lab before. Okay, but again, so you're positioning more for semiconductor or for electronics?
That is a very broad. Yeah, it's for electronic, not only for semiconductor, because
Okay,
they work a lot with the Sharp in Batu Pahat. The TV manufacturer, they have some TV products over there.
Okay, good. I think yes, last time I've been to your lab. The facility is quite updated and quite advanced. Even can support some of the semiconductor industry. Now, I think you expanded it to more generic electronics. I think that's good. Yeah. So you can even issue certification as a certifying body. Is that right?
Yes.
Very good. Not easy. Yeah. Okay. I think I'll leave it to you.
Yeah. Okay. So I think we wait a couple minutes because now we can see that more participants joining. While I also follow up with my student as well.
Hi, Stephen. I saw you. So very good morning to you.
Hi, good morning.
All right. Dr. Nafar, this young man by the name Stephen Lai is my good friend. Very again a distinguished guy in Penang. He's the I think a chairman of an organization called SIT, and very active in all the industrialization, the youth development, talent development, and have a very good connection with China provincial government in Chengdu. He's doing some kind of an ambassador, a little bit like business ambassador job. So again, I'm glad that he spent time to join us this morning.
Thank you, Stephen, for joining us.
Yeah, actually he's a good distinguished speaker. Next time you can invite him to have a webinar to talk something which is I believe is beneficial to the student as well.
Yes.
A more global scope perspective, looking at the world and looking at the young generation. I think that is something good for our young people to know about it. Yeah.
It's my pleasure.
I'm not sure this Muhammad Azaha is the person I know. Is it Azaha from Nation Gate or Azaha from Talent Pool? So many old friends and old names, familiar names. Sun Jin Fong. I saw.
Morning, good morning, Mr. CK. Good morning.
Yes,
How are
yes. Oh, nice to hear your voice.
you? Yes.
I told you before, if I got into problem, you have to come to rescue. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Looking forward for your talk. You have been delivering a very excellent one last one with UTM. Today,
Oh, okay.
very
Thank
honored to
you.
have you. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Dr. Sun. Thanks for the compliment. Okay, Dr. Nafa, I leave it to you. I just stand by, okay?
Okay.
Raymond C?
I wait for a while.
Is it Raymond C?
Yes, CK.
Hey,
Good morning.
buddy, how are you?
Hey, boss. Long time no hear from you. Good.
All right, man. You're always supportive, my friend.
Hey, it's always good to learn from you.
No. I'm just sharing, okay? Learn together. Learn, unlearn, relearn. That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think it's 6 minutes past 9 already. So allow me to start this morning session. Okay, first of all, I would like to welcome everybody for this, we call this as a CEO webinar. It's very interesting. And we would like to actually introduce that we have here is Mr. CK Tan, the CEO or the Vice President of Nation Gate Solutions Berhad. We really thanks that we have a very special guest, Tan Sri Ko, is the previous chief of Penang, right?
Yeah, former CM of Penang.
Okay, thank you for joining us. I think everybody have spending their precious time with us right now, so we are really grateful on that. My name is Nafa Rizal. I'm from University Tun Hussein, Malaysia. I will be very excited to have this session with all of you guys today. And allow me to have a very brief introduction about Mr. CK Tan. Okay, Mr. CK Tan is have over 40 years of direct experience in various industry, especially in electronic manufacturing. I think most of you guys know, and also in semiconductor industry, and strong entrepreneurship as his own design product development. Okay, CK have also bring him diverse and superior knowledge in leading technologies and excellence in managing complexity of the product, people, and also the business. Currently, Mr. CK is Vice President of Nation Gate Solutions Berhad. He also is the founder and the Managing Director of ANF Berhad. I think this is subsidiary or it's a child from the Nation Gate. If I'm not mistaken, we have visited his company one time. He was the operation manager, senior operation manager at the Freescale Semiconductor before, and also was the GM for the one of the company in China, GEM China, and also was the founding general manager for the Globetronics Technology Berhad, and was also the assembly engineering manager for Intel. So quite a back some time ago. So I think Mr. CK have a very vast range of experience in this semiconductor industry and electronic industry in Penang. So we will have we will very grateful if we can listen to his very vast experience. We would like to open this session so that everybody can have a point of view from a vice president itself. So we would like this session also can be a very attractive session. So we will have CK to have his presentation. And of course, at the same time, we allow everybody, anyone who want to have a question, please just raise your hand. I think on the box you can have some I know you can try to we have some reaction or something that we can know that if you want to talk, you just try to unmute yourself and we can ask the questions. And also we will also have a link actually for the certificate for everybody. Later on, I will put in the chat box, and everybody we can fill in the form so that we can later on we can give you e-certificate. And for your information, Mr. CK, I think this morning session we have many vice president, many CEO from many companies as well, right? So they are friends.
Yeah, I hope so. Anyway,
And
I welcome
have,
all the comment and from all the CEO so that we can share more. Again, my philosophy is learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Okay, right. So we also have many students. We did distribute this information for our students in UTHM. It's including the undergraduate student and also the postgraduate student. So for all students, please take this opportunity to engage with Mr. CK Tan, which is the vice president of the company. When you go for the interview, absolutely you will face this kind of faces, and please make sure that you can have some engagement with him, and please take this opportunity. I would like to, I think, and we also have our staff from UTHM and also from the IEEE society actually, because I'm also one of the executive committee for the IEEE Electron Device Society in Malaysia chapter. So we also invite all the IEEE members to join us with us this morning. So without further ado, I think I would like to give this screen to Mr. CK so that you can share your screen and then you can start your presentation.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Nafar. Very good morning to all the participants online. At the same time, to those Chinese participants, I would like to wish you a very happy Moon Festival today. And it's a symbol of family reunion. Okay, I think a couple of weeks ago, Dr. Nafar representing UTHM and talked to me regarding, during this epidemic period, and there are more graduates coming out from the university and go into the workforce. And, today the landscape of the workforce already changed and the expectation of the graduate also have been raised. So it may be good for me coming from the industrial perspective to share a little bit on what do we industry, especially those people in electronics, which especially those already with industry 4.0 equipped already company, what do we expect from the graduate? I think the whole intent here is just to share. So that's why I think Dr. Nafar have chosen the title as "Are you intellectually and competently conditioned?" Condition means whether you are mind conditioned or not to join the parade of the prevailing IR 4.0 industry. Now, the emphasis in this is more on the IR 4.0. Of course, IR 4.0 is something above the conventional industry. So the expectation is totally different. And it's already here, IR 4.0, like it or not. You cannot just ignore it, okay? So before I start, I would like to just play about 2 minutes NSM corporate video so that you can, in this video, I think you can have a flavor on what typical IR 4.0 factory look like, okay? Yeah, let me just do a sharing. I hope it works.
Technology brings
Can everybody
changes.
see the video
And we
hear the
embrace changes.
Yes, Ken.
Okay, good. It takes about 2 minutes.
Because we believe that the change is for the greater. That is why we ride on the wave of Industry 4.0. Constantly transforming to smart production processes. and commit to deliver the best to our business partners. Our manufacturing expertise provides flexibility to overcome any challenges. Our automated, connected, and controlled manufacturing environment is designed to maximize the efficiency of processes. From taking preventive actions to real-time monitoring, our fully integrated operations ensure smooth processes.
So you can see a typical IR4.0 ready company involved a lot
Industry
of data
4.0
automation,
is driven by technology and the people.
IoT stands for Internet of Things, and we emphasize a lot on the connectivity and the connectedness.
Our technically competent team is well trained
when
and
you have a
always
huge
on the
data, you
forefront
need to
of
manage
handling
the database
advanced
very, very
automated
well.
systems. Technology leads changes,
So these
and
are-
we
these are
lead the
auto
growth
vision.
of success.
And robotic engineering.
We commit to deliver. We are Nation Gate.
So, okay, I think in that video, what you have seen is even in the Malaysia context, we are still benchmarking ourselves against the international standards, but we're not too far out. That's something we feel proud about. And when you talk about IR 4.0, it is referring to the revolution of the methodology, adopting a different technology to make good use of it and deploy it to improve your production efficiency. Okay, this is important of taking the prevailing enabling technology and emerging technology, especially those in the wireless area. Okay, to make good use of it. Now, let me go into my presentation proper. Wait. So can everybody see the screen?
Yes, we can see.
Good. So as I mentioned, the title. Oh, let me see. Okay, wait, let me get myself organized. Okay, the keyword here is are you intellectually, meaning today you, especially those fresh graduate come from university, I think you have learned a lot of things, but you may not have the industrial experience or experience with industrial relevance. That's something very important. Okay, so now before you can really contribute. Okay, it's a chicken and egg. Before you work, you got no experience. There's no way we can rate on you on your experience. But intellectually, are you ready? At least before you come out, you know what is the outside world. Okay, you're entering into a forest. At least you want to know what are the animals in this forest, or rather than be eaten alive without knowing it. And then, are you competent enough? Especially, are you conditioned before you come out from your ivory tower? Okay, and to join the IR 4.0 rating, rating. Now, why I want to emphasize IR 4.0 rating, because most of the factory eventually, okay, will be more and more cluster of a factory will go into IR 4.0 rating. Yeah, and Malaysia is not too bad, relatively speaking, in the ASEAN country in terms of adopting IR 4.0. We are not that bad. Okay, this is how our factories look like. We have 5 plants of this kind. Okay, this is the newest one. We call it Plant 5. Okay, today I have altogether, I have including the break time whatsoever, I have a talking time of about 80 minutes. So in this 80 minutes, I will cover 2 topics. The topic number 1, I call it an overview of IR 4.0. I may not go into detail, but good enough to give a fresh graduate some flavor of what is the 9 enabling technology. We call it 9 key pillars. and what IR 4.0 as a game changer and also a disruptor. Yeah, the keyword here you will hear very often will be the disruption, okay? Or we call it a constructive destruction, okay? As opposed to a frog in warming water, as you know very well. And what are the so different? What are the unique, not only the value proposition, but the unique value proposition of IR 4.0? And now, in the context of competition, be it in the workplace or be it in the business world, there are two analogies. We call it red ocean or blue ocean. I believe you have heard about it, but whether how much you know about it is something that I would like to share a little bit. Then the second topic is I think is more tailored to the soon-to-be employees, meaning the existing graduate about to come out. You have to be sought after. You cannot be just a graduate with a certificate. You must be sought after by the hiring employers. That's a keyword. So what are the essential competency factors? I call it, I coined this word, okay? In short, I call it, acronym is ECF. Yeah. So what are these as a promising employee? So that at least when you come out, you must be conditioned or equipped with some of it, or at least you must equip with the knowledge of it if you do not have a practical experience on it. Now, the other thing is definitely the importance of problem solving as a young graduate to come into the workplace. Then there are a few things that you need to inside the box, outside the box, and uncommon common sense. So I would like to go into the first topics first, the 9 key pillars of the IR 4.0. Okay, NationGate already been practicing IR 4.0, adopting the 9 pillars, the 9 technology, emerging technology for the last almost close to 8 years. We are actually was a very pioneer when IR 4.0 was still unheard word in our part of the world. Okay. So adopting IR 4.0, actually the ultimate aim is to accelerate the exponential growth. The keyword here is exponential growth. It's not a linear growth. I'll come to that later. Yeah. So before I go into IR 4.0, we as a manufacturer, we are actually for the whole life. Okay. Anyway, NationGate has been 21 years in business. So all along we've been a manufacturer, contract manufacturer, or we call it an electronic manufacturing service provider. So we have been dealing with manufacturing all along. So definitely when you're dealing with something, you must establish certain standard to measure as a manufacturing excellence. Okay, for manufacturing excellence, the fundamental, you can't run away from a few key components. The first one, of course, among others, there's a lot, but the major one, in my opinion, will be a customer satisfaction KPI. There are 4 hard KPI and 4 soft KPI. The 4 hard KPI is definitely for every manufacturer to strive for, is to make sure that they have a highest possible productivity, the on-time delivery, 0 defect, and all-time competitive cost. So whatever our endeavor or our attempt is to achieve this bottom line. Yeah. Now this is just a fundamental today as a qualifier. People, our customer, this is a must-have thing. Without that, you don't even eligible to fight. But with this, may not be good enough. When people looking at other aspects, the soft spec, the manufacturer in the eyes of the customer must be very, very predictable. Okay. They do not want to hear a lot of but, if, because, and all kind of excuses whenever there's a problem, and must be dependable and responsive is a key word. Now, we all know problem or issue is inevitable, that's for sure. But when it comes, it's up to how you respond to that. The responsiveness actually is a reflection of the attitude and the culture. That is something that is a moving forward force. Okay, all these are hard indicator. Okay, you can go through the foreman, machine, you know, whatever to get it, but these are something is in the culture of the top leader. So that's why very important. And then the factory have to be managed very systematically. And these are the elements that we got to manage. We call it a key success factor, or I coin it as dominant essential factors. Okay, this word again is coined by me. I call it DEF. Now that you have to manage this 4M, 2S, and 1E. 4M stands for people, machine, the material, and method. This is a fundamental factors of a manufacturing. We have to dealing with all these 4 factors interactively every day, every now and then. And then again, you need to deal with the system, continue to refining the system, and also make sure that the safety is a priority and the working environment. Okay, and in terms of this is the barang, the thing that you have to manage. But what is the characteristic in the manufacturing system itself? Early detection. Again, as I said, despite the fact that we are gearing toward hitting what we call zero defects. Zero defects always the goal. But in reality, we know that problem is inevitable. So, but when problem happen, as I said, the responsiveness, how early you detect it, that makes a lot of difference. You detect it in the next 1 second, in the next 1 minute, in the next 1 hour, or 1 week, or 1 month, or 1 week, or 1 year. That makes health of difference. Okay. And then in the production line, while you have so many things interactively interventing to each other, before a problem happens, there's a telltale signal. Okay, when the telltale signal come in, you are not get into the problem yet. If you can pick up that telltale signs, then you can prevent the problem from escalating. Yeah, and then it's the real-time trigger. Again, is something like you have to be fast to know it. And whenever happen, there's a very fast closed loop. You must establish your system to be in such a way that it's closed loop. Yeah, when something happens, somebody take action on it. In most of the quality control, you know, we call it the PDCA cycle. So you have to close loop it and settle it. Okay, this is what I say, the sustainable.
Okay, I have a question. On your previous slide, if from your point, this kind of action will be taken from which department actually in the company actually?
Oh, very good question. I think we have to look at the factory as a just like your whole body. You have to a very well coordinated body. There's no single part or single component or single department is more important than the others. No, because it works as a system. A car, if you have a screw or something, even a battery screw up, your car will not run. It doesn't really matter whether it's an engine or not. So in this case, it's a common. Of course, a different department, while dealing with this, they have a different priority, different function. But basically, they're dealing with all these elements. Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, so the keyword here is sustainable growth. Okay, growth is everybody can grow. I mean, I can set up a company so long I have enough money to set up, but it only lasts me for 1 year, or lasts me for 3 months, or lasts me for 3 years. Then what's the purpose of setting up a company just to be short life? So sustainable growth, but sustainable growth again is a totally different philosophy. Okay, and the sustainable growth through the adoption of IR4.0 to become IR4.0 ready, compared to you will be knocked out because you are IR4.0 lacking manufacturer. Okay, the keyword here is accelerated knockout. You will be knocked out without you knowing it. So just now I mentioned every manufacturer have to achieve an evergreen KPI: productivity, high productivity, good quality, on-time delivery, competitive cost, happy customer. So these are our continuous pursuit in order to maintain our survival. And our management of the manufacturing environment is optimizing the harmony, the keyword here, harmony of the integration of all these dominant factors just I mentioned. You have to really harmonize it. That's an art. That is a science, and there's an art in it. Okay, now these are all the toolbox. Of course, it is not exhaustive. Like for those who've been familiar with a manufacturing system or manufacturing excellence, we call it ME. Then we have a total quality management, Six Sigma, total productive maintenance, OEE, meaning overall equipment effectiveness, on-time delivery, blah, 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 blah. And of course, there are a whole bunch. That has been, all these are methodology and the process that we adopt to manage the man system, sorry, the 4M, the 2S, and 1E. Now, the principle and the fundamental remain no change. But what is IR 4.0? Again, as I say, it's a revolution and also it's an evolution, meaning you are adopting you're still fulfilling the same principle and the function and the fundamentals, but you're adopting a more efficient way, okay? This is what I call the IR 4.0. It's just like a suite, just like when they say a Microsoft, a Windows, Microsoft suite, you have a PowerPoint, you have an Excel, you have a Word. It's a bundle, it's a suite, okay? Inside IR 4.0, they bundle 9 technology as a package by itself, and you have to adopt it to enable you and to make yourself more efficient to manage all these things, okay? So, clear cut. If you are not IR 4.0 ready company, okay, you can't survive to compete then win. You can't. Okay, you are. Sorry, if you are not, then you are complacent to decline, then out. Okay, that is a cruelty of the reality. Okay, IR 4.0, as I mentioned, is a kind of a put all things together. Just use a Swiss Army knife as an analogy. Okay, you can see here you have a scissor, you have a can opener, you have a knife, you have a this and that, or even a ruler. Okay, all these things actually can be an individual. You can have a ruler by itself, you can have a can opener by itself, but they are all in one piecemeal. Now, the Swiss knife is designed in such a way that they put all things together in a very small outfit that you can carry. So at any one time you carry, when you come to a situation whereby at that particular situation, you need to use a scissor, then you have a scissor. You need to open a can, then you have a can opener, or you want to measure something, then so everything in one hand. Okay, so they put everything here. Actually, it's a concept. It's a kind of an integration compared to the individual. So today, this guy is not creating a new function of a ruler, not creating a new function of the can opener. No, it's the integration of all the purpose. Yeah. Now, this gives you another analogy of the migration of technology. Just imagine way back during our grandfather time, okay, we already know that's a screw, okay, screw is meant for tightening something. So when you have a screw, then come up with a screwdriver. The screwdriver is meant, okay, the function is screwing the screw. I think it's the best way, until today we're still using, meaning it's a very proven way to screw the screw, okay? But it's still very manual. So effectiveness, high or not, yes. As far as the screwing the screw is concerned, it's very effective. Efficient, it takes time, not so high. So that put it as something like it's a first generation kind of screwing a screw using a screwdriver. Then later on, I think when we have a more advanced technology, then we have a handheld electric screwdriver. So the function still remain the same. This is just to screwing the screw, but this is a bit motorized, and then effectiveness is high, and the efficiency definitely is better than this guy. So you can just imagine that's a technology migration. Now, we are at this stage. Now today, in a factory, we have many things that we need to put a screw on. Like example, when we build a finished good, that is a box. In a box, maybe you have 10 screws, you have 12 screws, maybe some of them even have different sizes. So in the past, we have to use people to go through a few stations to use a screwdriver to screw on it. So now, no, you just need one machine, it's auto screw. Okay, at the same time, you embed and you put the embedded function of what we call the connectivity, meaning all the data, meaning you even know whether you have any missing screw. Let's say a box have a 10 screw and have three different sizes. Chances of, if you use people, even to use 3 people to do that, chances of some of them will be missed through. That you know, they become a quality issue. And the machine itself was such an intelligent that they can detect whether there's any missing screw. At the same time, all the information, whatever, okay, like today, how many boxes have been done, how many screws have been used, whether the screw running out. Now, all this information will be captured within this machine and transmit out to the through the cloud to the server, and then people will take action if in case there's something abnormal. So you can see over here is a good understanding for you. The technology migrate, but the functions still remain the same. Only thing is these have a lot of added feature, not the function, the features to make things. So likewise, just now I mentioned, I have to get back to this. Over here, we have been practicing all these tools, okay, in our own way. But again, I call it as pen and paper technology, because all the data, we need data to do analysis. All the data are captured through pen and paper. But today, no. Okay, we can use technology to replace all those. So this is IR 4.0. Go through a migration way back 100+ years ago. Started with just mechanization, and then with electricity, and then now with electronic, with computer, whatsoever. Now we are in the stage of 4.0. Actually, this word is coined by a German engineer in 2005, I think, way back even at that time. The keyword here is a cyber and physical. Now here actually is isolated. It is an island. Every machine stand alone, whatever. There's no connectivity through wireless. There's no so-called cyberspace. So now we already have so many technology that have been developed to interact with each other in the cyberspace. So the cyberspace actually is a new dimension to Earth. So the cyber and physical act together, then you can have the best of both worlds. So industry.
If I may ask, how do you consider the costing? Because when you implement new like the machine, right? You have some quite very high cost to install the new machine, for example, for this IR 4.0, and the ROI for it will take some time. So how do you consider on that?
That's a very good question, Professor. This has been the question asked, and the answer is always evolving. Okay, very subjective. Now, IR 4.0, as I say, when you adopt a new technology like those things, of course, you need to do investment. So when you do any investment, be it you buy a machine, be it you build a building, be it you buy a new software, be it whatever. So definitely the money. So definitely you must know what is the ROI. Whether it take you 2 years, 3 years, and then also as a management, you need to be selective. When you buy those things, the technology, there are different layers of technology in the same technology. There's high end, middle end, low end. You know, you can buy it on the phase 1, then phase 2, phase 3. So there's a lot of metrics, okay, in the decision making for selection. And at this point, out of the 9, whether you want to just select 2 first, and then the other 6 we select later, this selected 3 we apply into certain operation first. And so these are all, actually there's no fixed rule. It is up to the management and in the eye of the beholder, in the eye of the management, how they want to do it. Maybe I will come to that later, but this session, I think definitely may not be adequate for me to elaborate detail of the 9. Now, of course, Dr. Nafa, you're welcome to have another webinar that I will be specific, just talk about the IR.
All right. Thank you.
No. Thank you very much. I think it's a very good question. But anyway, if there's a first timer, then what is IR 4.0? You have been keep hearing all these things. Yeah. So this is a kind of a methodology I would like to use. It is a kind of a deployment of emerging technology. Inside this package, there are 9 technology. Okay, so 2 actually is more engineering based, meaning like robotic, very engineering based. You replace those manual with a robotic, with mechanical automation. So this is fall into here. That's quite easy to understand. Then the other one is additive manufacturing, meaning in the past, additive is a 3D printing. In the past, as you know, whenever you want to do a prototype, the engineering department want to do something, or engineer come up with a new design, they have to do a drawing and then go to do a fabrication and then do a testing and then modification, blah, blah, blah. No, so it really takes time. But today, because at the time there's no other choice, that's the only choice. That was the only choice. But today we have a 3D printing technology. Actually, what you need to do is you just input in your design, and then the 3D printer will just print out the prototype. That can be done within an hour or two, compared to 1 week or 2 weeks. So these two. But on the IT cloud base or in the cyber base, just how I mentioned, the cyber and the physical. In the cyber base, there are actually 7 pillars. Okay, of course, you understand the big data, the IoT. IoT is a smart sensor. That today all the sensors are so smart. They can check either temperature, pressure, force, or whatever, or count, and then whatever they captured as a data, then they can transmit out to the server. So this is what we call a smart sensor. And then of course, when you transmit, all these are pieces of information. So you have a big database, and then you have to, all the system actually now, the machine, just now I mentioned, in the past, machine are typically a silo, is standalone, or we call it an island. Okay, an island, and to the island, you want to talk to each other, you have to make a bridge. Very difficult. Okay, how much bridges you can make. But today in a connected world, okay, all the machines, they are interconnected each other. Okay, so meaning you have a system integration, and of course you need a cyber security, because of you have such a confidential info and a huge data. Somebody just will hack it for the sake of hacking or what. Augmented reality is something actually is originally I believe you heard about virtual reality, but you may not be so well versed with augmented reality. Virtual reality is something like it's not real, so it's a fabricated reality. That's called virtual reality, just like. But augmented reality is the other way around. The background itself is real, but you, on top of that, the background, on the screen, you add in information. Okay, let me just give an example. Let's talk about a smart glass. You have a smart glass. Let's say now you walk into the warehouse, and the warehouse is a very big warehouse. You can see all the rack, and every rack you have a whole bunch of a lot of material in the carton, whatever. How do you, let's say you are the manager, you walk around, how do you know whether there's anything wrong in any carton, be it the wrong part, be it the wrong number? There's no way. You have to go, the conventional way is you have to check the record, you go to the computer, you check the hard copy record, blah, 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 blah. Even by doing so, you may not know. But today, just imagine that you have a technology that the system itself is able to provide that kind of information. So you just wear a smart glasses, you walk through the warehouse, and then you just stare at one of the box. And then immediately on the screen, the information of that box will come out on the screen. So immediately you can see. So when you look at other carton, then whatever the relative information, things like this. I just quoting a simple example. So these are the things that will help you to detect the telltale sign, and will let the problem, which in a conventional way, there's no way you can discover it, now make it possible. Okay, so these are the explanation of the 9. I'm not going to go through. Okay, as like, if this is a conventional, this is a conventional factory, like example, manual work now replaced by robotic. As I mentioned just now, the machine prototyping, which is usually in the conventional way, you have to go through this. Now you use 3D printing. And then in the past also, whenever you want to run, we call it a design of experiment. You want to try something, you have to physically try it, okay, to see the result, and then you make the correction. But now you do not really need to do, because sometimes you have to have a lot of waste, have a lot of time taken and effort and mistake. Now you can go through a software simulation. You can, if there's something wrong, you just redo. Okay. So this is again, the function is the same, the purpose is the same, but the methodology, the process are different. Now, in the past, all our computer, our machine, everything is isolated. I mean, it's an island. Is you have to hard cable it, but today everything will be the smart sensor will go through the cloud and the big data. So it's a cyber, yeah. So again, last time all the system itself is a silo, but now all the system itself integrated, like machine, like all the machine can talk to each other, and all your even the different financial system, warehouse system, logistics system, all can tie together. Now, in the past, okay, you rely on people to sign NDA, .com, contract to make sure that no filberage, no tampering, whatever. But today, all these are electronic, so you really need a cyber security. Okay, this is augmented, I mentioned just now. Yeah. Okay, IR 4.0, now I go into the second subtopic of topic 1. IR 4.0, game changer, pioneer, disruptor versus frog in warming water. I mentioned that adopting, if you don't adopt IR 4.0 and you still go at the conventional way, but you manage it very well, even though you go to conventional way, you will still grow, but that is the rate of growth. Okay. Now, this is what the IR 4.0 can help you with the same effort, with the same resources, the growth will go exponentially. Now, adoption of 4.0, whether it's a disruptor or not, I use that again for easy to understand. Let's say grandfather time, with all the typewriter, assuming today, maybe some of you are too young to see a mechanical typewriter, okay? Now, what is the typical problem of a mechanical typewriter? Jam, mechanical jam, always jam. If you type faster, then the whole bloody thing just jam and cost, and then you take time. For those people like me, had that kind of experience, know very well. Okay. Now, assuming you are a genius as a mechanical engineer, let's say you are the genius, you are the top mechanical engineer now, and you can design a typewriter totally jam free. No way it will jam. Example. Okay. Do you think your typewriter, somebody will buy your so-called the jam free typewriter? No. No, because it lost the contemporary value. That's what I'm trying to say. Contemporary value or the utility value. So as you know, as technology migrate from here, go to this a vintage computer. Okay, Macintosh or whatever, the first generation, IBM desktop. Yeah, that itself have a word processing. So actually here, as you know, you type wrongly, you cannot correct. Here you can do whatever, And then later on by consumer tablet, and then now even with a smartphone, and with so many integrated features here. So you can see, as a migration of technology will make something become obsolescent. So meaning you are along this line as technology migrates. Okay, so it's very simple. You always roll against rough rapid, always, like it or not. Today the world is flat. Today the world is flat. Okay, it's compared to 50 years back during our time. The world is actually isolated. I just want to compete within my own, let's say I want to compete within my own Malaysian enough. I don't have to worry about the other people. But today, the world is flat. It's a global village. If you don't move, other people move, and then you'll be further away. Simple as that. It's just like, you're rolling against the rough rapid. So do or die is a mentality. If not now, will be later. If you don't die. So it's elevate or evaporate, in or out, not in between. No in between, okay? So now talk about the unique value proposition. Now this is my word. I try to summarize it because here there's a value and there's a proposition. There's also a unique. It's an extraordinary value that explains the word unique. that distinctively, expressively, exclusively, okay, with unique compelling factors to differentiate yourself from your competitor. You cannot be me too. If your competitor have, you are just on par. But you must have something more than that. And that something more than that, it is welcomed by the customer. Have to be, and more than that, have to be differently, expressively and distinctively different, and with compelling factors. Okay, in order to create what I call the new value, the keyword here is value. Yeah, value is in the eye of a user. The value will create new possibility, new purpose, new usefulness, new application, and new meaning, and also new fusion. Just like today, a handphone. Okay, a handphone by itself is meant for a phone. It's just meant for you to make a call. That's why called handphone. Okay, but today we call it smartphone because we'll integrate so many things. We have calendar, we have a calculator, we have many things inside the phone. But at time, without the internet, without this, what I call the info media, like today you have all these ways, GPS, what you name it, WhatsApp, you know, WeChat, blah, 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 blah. All these things, YouTube, these are actually info media. Then you coupled all this together and you know, he will create you a new value. Today, you read news like nobody business. Whenever something happens, you will know in the next minute, in the next second. So all these make the thing so efficient. Yeah. Now the unique value for those who adopt the bottom line for IR 4.0 people. Now, as I say, all the fundamental just I mentioned, the productivity, the quality, the cost, the delivery, all this, you know, will definitely go up. Now, only with all those go up, delivery time, of course, has to be shortened, meaning you deliver faster than expected, and there's no excursion, no quality issue. Now, why here? Profit margin. Why will go a little bit down, then go up? We call it hockey stick. Hockey stick. Why? Because you need to do investment. Just back to what just now Dr. Nafa mentioned. Okay, it's a kind of an investment. Investment for sure. You will take a little bit incubation time for them to reap the benefit. Yeah. So, but for sure, when you go this way, it will go this way up already. And the more importantly, you won't die because you are still in the playing field. That is a keyword. Okay, rather than you are no longer a player. Yeah. So this is let me see how much time I've gone already. Okay.
Another minute.
Okay. Yeah, I'm also always very poor timekeeper. You have to remind me.
It's okay.
Okay. Okay. The last subtopics of this is adoption of a red ocean strategy and a blue ocean strategy. Simply put, red ocean, blue ocean is just a coined word by the Professor Kim, who wrote this famous book in 2015 called Blue Ocean Strategy. Okay, he just tried to use analogy, ocean. Let's say a red ocean is symbolizes all the blood, the bloody thing. You know, it's competition. Competition always very bloody. As you know, I want to kill you, you want to kill me. You know, just like supermarket, the price war. If this guy is selling at 1 ringgit, then you sell 90 cents. The moment he knows you sell 90 cents, he go to 85 cents. Something like this. You got no brainer. You just compete on that. So this is in the concept of competition. So, and then it's very bloody. That's why he used analogy of a red ocean. Now, on the other way, if you can create a space whereby you got no competitor, you may sound a little bit funny. I'll come to that later. Okay, then you will enjoy the cool sea of blue ocean. It is beyond competition. So again, IR 4.0 is something here. If you met together with a blue ocean strategy, it is something like you have to adopt something whereby you pull away, you are closer to your top competitor whom you benchmark, and you pull away from those nearby competitors to you so that you will continue to keep the lead. That is the whole idea. Okay, back to competition. Actually, this word comes from Olympic. There's only 3 things. Okay, he create a sport, let all the human beings just compete on the same competence, meaning if you run 100 meter, if you jump, if you throw, whatever. But you have to, even though you do the same thing with the same baseline, but you have to outbeat your whoever your competitor to be faster, stronger, and higher. This is called competition. Everybody do the same thing, but doing better, faster, stronger, and higher. So way back, there are very famous by this Professor Michael Porter. I believe some of you may heard of it. He, in 2005, that was about how many years ago? Really, 27 years. Okay. So this book, he put all the competition in a very nice definition, and it talk about what are the key forces. They call it the 5 forces of competition. Let me come to this one first. Okay, you definitely in any field, in any industry, you will sure face rivalry, meaning your competitor who do the same thing, but if they try to outbeat you, you try to outbeat them. Okay, so this by itself is one group of people. Then also at any one time, you will see a newcomer, new entrant. Yeah, people, the new competitor who come from nowhere to compete you. And then something who come out with a substitute product, either to replace your existing product or replace the function, replace the design. So ended up making your product or your service become less attractive. This is called substitute. So whenever there's a new substitute come, also will affect your survivor. Then of course the other force is the buyer. The buyer may negotiate the price with you, end up pay you lower price, and then whether you agree or not, you cannot agree, you lost the business, something like this. And then the supplier also same thing, either raise the price of your barang and everything. So these are always very dynamic. Now you are in the competition. You are competing with all these 5 forces. How to keep you survive? Okay, so his strategy is either you have to very clear your service, your product, the nature, and whatever, and your organization. Either you go for cost leadership, meaning you go for low cost, just like now many supermarkets they go. This is actually you do not need a brainer. You just everything go low cost, the lower cost in the town, whatever, that's enough. Okay, so and of course when you say low cost, of course you have to make sure that you are still profitable. So there's also some. So you go for cost leadership, or you go for product service differentiation. You create some premium, just like a car. Why those luxurious cars, be it a Merc, Ferrari, BMW? Why they are still selling a car just with 4 wheel with an engine that can move, it can shelter you from the rain. That's the basic function of the car. Okay, why this car can sell 10 times more expensive than the other normal car, while they are still a car? Because it's a differentiation. Okay, when they do a differentiation, they must have a differentiation strategy in order for them to be survive in that competition. So in short, the competition is talking about a function of cost or differentiation. So again, this is just to give you a competition kind of concept, like you're racing, okay, in the same lane. Okay, everybody try to be lead. So let's say this red car at the moment doing good, so he take the lead. Okay, but you have to be very cautious because there are some people catching up very soon and overtake at the corner. You will never know. Okay, now the other mentality is you still do the same thing. You still race the same car, but you try not to race on the same lane. If possible, that you can create your own path or own lane. That time there's no obstacle. You can just ram like nobody business, but you still keep the lead. Okay, but you are very, as I said, more comfortable to do so. Yeah. So now this is a new word called value factor. manufacture. That's what we've been doing. But in the process, while we are manufacturing, we also need to add value to become value factoring. So this is the keyword. Now, this is a very subjective. It is up to the leader how much he understands the importance or the implication of value. So that's the reason why we say the leadership is important to lead a company. If the leadership is still very complacent type, I tell you, regardless how good the workforce, the company will flop one day, very soon. Okay, on the other hand, the beyond competition, as I mentioned, Professor Kim and Rini, okay, both of them come up with this book, Blue Ocean Strategy in 2015. It's one of still, until today, still a hot seller. I really highly encourage you guys to take a look. Definitely will help you because it's a strategy. It's not pertaining just to business. The strategy is actually can use it, especially for the new graduate. When you come up, you cannot be the normal Me Too graduate than the rest of the 1 million students. You have to stand out, but at least your mindset have to be conditioned to be different first. Okay, so you need a blue ocean strategy, okay, to create here you can see, to create uncontested space and make the competition irrelevant. What does that mean? Just now, as I mentioned, here, you create an uncontested space. This one, nobody jam you anything. You are on your own. Okay, here, they're very congested. Okay, and you are just do whatever you do best. You really don't care about this car. So that is what I call make the competition become irrelevant because you do different things. Okay, so this is a new book again. You talk about how to execute it. It's the latest book, I think 2-3 years ago. It's a series of it's a serial of a book. I read these two books 2-3 times. I think really I can see the profoundness of the wisdom. Okay.
We about time.
Sorry.
Yeah, we about time. We can just like summarize. Have a,
I will finish at 10 o'clock, right? Now is what time? Now it's 10 o'clock.
10, yeah.
Okay, I'll summarize it. I have to overrun 5 minutes. 5 minutes within, okay. Okay, so here just now I mentioned either a cost or differentiation, that's competition. But for blue ocean, it is a cost and differentiation by creating a value innovation, meaning bring down the cost at the same time, boost up the differentiation or custom value. So the moment, if you can do both, then this space, the interaction will be more and more, meaning the greater value innovation that you can make. Okay, the keyword here is you don't want to compete as a me too, very congested, you kill me, I kill you type. You create your own space and emphasize the value over cost. Very important. Value is in the eye of the beholder, and also not just either cost or differentiate. This is red ocean. It is differentiate and low cost. Okay, this is a book again. They tell you a lot of a strategy, the tactic, the analytical tools, and also warn you about some pitfall. And also very important, they have 8 principles in this book. 4 are formulating principle. The other 4 are executing principle. Okay, so again, by itself is a very good book. I would like to encourage you to buy and read. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Mr. CK, so for keeping very nice time. So I think this is going to be the first half of your presentation,
Yep.
right? So you did discuss about the IR4.0 and then we come to the end of the blue ocean strategy. So I think we would like to take like a half, like a 5-minute break. So maybe if you want to have a coffee or something, and you can have your time. So in the
Okay, what is the time now? What is the time now?
now it's at 10:04.
10:04.
10:04.
Shall we come back at 10:10 or?
Yes. Yeah, it's good. We come back at 10.
Yeah.
Then
But
we will
remain-
discuss
I
about
think
the
those
second topic.
want to go to have a private meeting with God, then you can go lah. For 5
Okay.
minutes.
All right. Okay, thank you.
No, I'm not quite sure whether I'm speaking too fast or not. Dr. Nafar, you have to.
Yes.
Is it okay for?
It's okay.
the
It's
way-
okay. Yeah, I think we can get you. We can follow your presentation. Right.
Okay.
Hey,
No, because
hey,
I-
Dr. Nafa.
Hi.
My name is Raymond.
Yeah,
Raymond.
Hi. I think CK, can I just add one word to Dr. Nafa? I think what you're trying to say is that, to differentiate from a fresh graduate perspective, right? There's so many fresh graduates coming up, and especially in this situation of COVID, where it is an employer's market, I think the graduates need to add more value to themselves so that they can sell to prospective employers. And one of the ways is to make sure that they read more. We cannot run away from reading. When I was a fresh graduate, I always come back to work and I say, why do I want to read? I read so much in school days and graduate days, college days. I think what CK is saying is knowledge needs to be acquired on a continuous journey. And if you are not able to read and not willing to read more and gain more knowledge, you will be losing out. For them, in this perspective, makes more sense that, what CK is saying, that for you to be giving yourself more value than the next guy, you either be having ability to speak more languages, all the same, right? We all come up from the same school, all same university. But what makes you so different is that, you may have some competitive knowledge that people don't have. And you can only get it by either through experience or through reading. And I think the encouragement here is, it's not too late. You can still read. That's all.
Okay. So I may add question to that. When we mention about reading, nowadays we can have vast amount of resources for reading. You can go to the internet, you can go to the, I think YouTube also, there's podcasts and everything, right? One of the issue that the students may face is like, what to read? So what are the good information that they need to read? What are the good book that they need to read? That kind of guidance, I think, is not there. So because we can if you Google, everything can come out from the Google, right? So
I think it depends on each individual. What do they have interest, right? For example, when I was working, my president that I was supporting, right, he goes to the internet, he goes to YouTube a lot during work hours. So it's not conventional, right? People say, why are you doing YouTubing in work hours, right? But he's actually learning new stuff. Like, we teach people about Six Sigma. I come out from school so many years ago, I forget about statistics, But do you know the internet have that resource on how do you do Six Sigma and what does it mean? So I think it's what interests you the most. Another thing is languages. A lot of people may laugh about this. In my course of work, I learned many languages. I speak Filipino, I speak Tagalog, I speak Thai, I speak a little bit of Korean, I speak, wherever I go, wherever country that I support working, I have to speak that language, So it's all what you want to learn. I speak Portuguese, I speak Spanish,
So that's how you engage with your customer, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. My background is I'm a human resources guy, right? So I go to meet people, talk to people, So I think what is really relevant here is for the students, the graduate students, to add value than just a certificate. Today, the certificate they have is just a requirement for interview. After the interview, they don't need a certificate at all.
Yeah. It's just a stepstone for
it's just a
interview, right?
minimum requirement for you to go in to meet someone. You must have this certificate.
It's a license, eh?
Yeah, it's a license. That's right. So CK, I hope I hope that's what to bring this clearer to the students so that they see a value why they come here. You know, it's not just getting the e-certificate, but it's something that they take back and says, hey, the real world outside, they want someone who give more than what they have today, right? If you can have this knowledge in, let's say you study engineering or psychology, and you bring another perspective just apart from what you studied, it's an added value.
Yeah, thank you, Raymond. You're always very helpful and knowledgeable. Dr. Nafar, just to give you a simple introduction of Raymond. He was my ex-colleague in Gertronic. He's now, he has been holding, I think, a high-level HR director working for many multinational companies. And that's what he said. He has to travel a lot to different sites, you know, and you have to really be accustomed to the local culture. So now I think he's enjoying life with a many zero in the bank. So so now I think
I want to copy that.
You can tap into his his availability actually to impart it to the children. Yep. Okay.
Hey, CK, YP here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hi, dear Dr. Nafa. This is YP. Yeah, I maybe have a couple of points to add on before the breakdown being fully consumed. So I think we have to understand that the Industry 4.0 is a strategy and not a tactical approach. So just now I heard about talking about the cost and so on. Now, cost, you got the short-term cost consideration. You got the long-term strategic cost, which is very much a competitive cost. So whenever someone wants to apply the Industry 4.0 or even smart manufacturing, I think we got to really look at the long term. It's not something short-term that you plant the tree today, you start to pluck the fruit tomorrow. If we have that sort of thinking, we are getting ourselves into the big hole of the smart manufacturing or Industry 4.0. And that the result will be disaster. Okay, that's point number one. Point number two, I think it's good that CK you introduced the Blue Ocean strategy and so on. But I think for a lot of the fresh graduate or those who are studying right now without much of the really practical working experience, it will be sometimes quite difficult for them to appreciate it. You and me and many in this forum have gone through those days when we in the undergraduate, at least for myself, is I've been fooled around in the undergraduate until the very last minute. Every time I go to the exam, then I start to look at what my lecturer or my professor told me about I get nothing right on that stage. Okay, so I'm a bad student anyway. But you graduated already, right? Yeah, eventually by back door.
No, YP actually is a very established IR4.0 consultant. He's a Malaysian, he's a Penang guy. Actually, he also is as young as me, born in 1955.
We are actually
high school mate, and YP Xiao. He's now conducting a consultancy for many Chinese SME in Shenzhen on the IR 4.0 readiness. So he's definitely the expert. Again, Dr. Nafa, he's the one that I may link him up to you so that he can share some of his wisdom to your students as well. Now, very important, I would say just now, Raymond also, YP also mentioned about the student at this juncture. That much they learn in the university, that much, okay, from the books, from the lecturer, from whatever, nothing wrong. I mean, that is something. Of course, with today's, I call it info media, they can also learn outside the campus. Yeah, but no matter what, that is a knowledge. They only learn is one way, just absorb, just a sponge.
Yeah.
But they internalize it, but how are they going to externalize it? Only when they come to work. But again, they are in the ivory tower. They haven't got a chance to go to the forest yet. So by the time they go to the forest, they need a certain time for adaptation. They need to adapt to the environment. Okay, now, how fast the adaptation, after that I have a slide talk about, it is depend on how well they are conditioned before they come out. That is the keyword. Okay, so meaning, if I were to suggest to all the academic institutions, for like people like your good self, Okay, it's an integrator. Actually, it is you do not need to be the expert of everything. There's no way you can be a master of everything. But you are the organizer that to pull, to leverage different resources to fit into the target audience. In this case, is university. Meaning, if you come to know, okay, in the industry, especially to people like us, are willingness. Today, I share these 2 hours. It is really my passion to share, okay, for the student, okay. To me, it's just a 2 hours time. No, not an issue at all. So for you, as a lecturer, then you know there are resources available, and these are willing, experienced people like Raymond, people like YP Xiao, and of course there are many who are in today. My word is willing. You may be very learned, but you're not willing. What's the point? No point. Okay. So now that is something I think we can industry and academia can work very closely. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. So I
So
think
shall I go into my next topic?
Yes, please. Shizuke.
Okay, this will take 30 minutes, but I try to cut it short. Okay, this is more for students, not so much for the CEO. If those people who are still a university student, be it bachelor, master, or PhD, I would say maybe it's good for you to know some of the competency that you would like to be conditioned to be a sought after soon to be employee, unless you don't want to be an employee. That's a totally different story. Even though you are not an employee, you want to be your own boss, you still need
Your business.
So what is the essential competency factors, ECF? Okay, I'll go to that with some example. I just summarize it. Of course, everybody knows the Stephen Covey's 7 habits actually become 8 habits. I'll come to that. To emphasize on the private and public's victory and the EQ. I think that is, most of us are quite familiar with that, the high effective people. And now, lesser known, it is what I call the adversity quotient. In short, I call AQ. I'll come to that later. And I also personally coined a word called man leisure. Man leisure. I will put some analogy between a forest and a tree, and a strong sense of purpose. I'll explain. And also, we have 4 types of personality. We call it explorer, artist, judge, and warrior. Sorry, spelling error. It's explorer. So you, out of these 4 characters, you want to be more warrior type, especially for new graduate. And of course, positive thinking, dare to die, dare to fail. And now the last one is a little bit a new thing for you to learn. Is a good stamina, perseverance, resilience in the career progression trajectory. What is this? I'll come to that one by one. Okay, this I'm not going to spend a lot of time. This is what the 8 habit of Stephen Covey. Originally, it's just 7, but later on they add in this 8. I think this is something. It is his enlightenment. I would say. What does that mean? The 8 is actually find your voice, inspire others to find their voice. What does that mean? Actually, talking about your instinct. Your instinct. Every one of us, we have two inner self and outer self. You know, when you behave on a consciously, then you behave this way. Unconsciously, there's another yourself, another self. Okay. But actually, that one is the true self, meaning he won't cheat you. You can cheat the whole world, but you cannot cheat yourself. That's why that guy is always very honest. So what are you really striking for? What are you really struggling for? Is the one that in the subconscious mind. So meaning you have your own instinct. You want to be a winner. You want to what? But because of, even though when you come out, you are very passionate. You want to be a winner. But when you come to the workplace, because of the influence of all those screw-up leaders or bad elements or the culture of the company, at the end of the day, because you're part of it, and you get influenced in a negative way. So then, even though when you came out, you may be a winner mindset, but ended up is corrupted and contaminated. So then ended up you become part of them, you know. But you know for sure, even though you behave like part of like same as them, but you know for sure you want to be a winner. That's why there's a two struggle. the struggle between the two selves. So he believed, he encouraged you as a effective person or as a winner. You really need to listen to your own self, the inner voice. Okay, that's all about. Yeah. So read the book. Now there's another book also which many years back. Okay, but this book never get popular. I don't know why, but this is damn good books. Okay, called Adversity Quotient. This is by a professor. He's a doctor in profession. Paul. Now, in this adversity, what it means is we heard about IQ, we heard about EQ. IQ means the intellectual quotient, yeah? Meaning, if you have a higher IQ, meaning you can learn things much faster than the other. Let's say you are like normal of us are maybe 80 to 100, some people 120, 130. So they're kind of a reference that if a person having a higher IQ can learn things much faster than those people having lower IQ. That is the whole thing. EQ is an emotion that you can control better than the others. You are, you know, even though you're a competent guy, but some people, some bosses are very hot-tempered, some people are very arrogant, blah, blah, blah. But as a high EQ, people always are more welcomed by people. But how about AQ? AQ also is the ability to face problem. Whenever you face difficult time, how do you deal with them? People will easily get knocked down, okay, by a tough situation. Even though that guy is intellectually very, very high or emotionally very bad, but the AQ dimension is low, meaning whenever you get hit, unfortunately, then he will be the other, he will be the different person. So in the AQ, which is ability, is a kind of a attribute a person should have. This book talk about 4 dimensions. They call it CO2RE or core. C stands for control. Okay, meaning whenever you are in a difficult situation, a tough situation, either it's a personal issue, family issue, work issue, or whatever issue, financial, whatever, we call it a difficult time or tough time. Then how much you think that you control it, or how much you believe you can control it, that is the control element. Now, how about the O? There are 2. One is the origin and the owner. Origin and owner means what? Origin is what caused this problem happen at the very beginning. Okay, the cause of this, and whether the cost is it owned by you, is it let me just give a simple example. Let's say example only, your small kid, let's say one day accidentally climb up a table and pour the hot water and burn himself, okay, and then cry, and then as a parent you feel guilty. Oh shit, how you wish that you shouldn't have put that hot water near the table, you should put it somewhere else. But anyway, the consequence already happened. So but in actual fact, is this something you feel guilty for sure, but it is really you own it? So this is a kind of a up to the guy to think. During the difficult time, definitely you'll be depressed, you have a hard time because the problem is still not getting over. But you must be equipped to believe that you have a control, you can take a control, and you believe the tough time don't last. Tough people do. You have to believe when the going gets tough. This is what I written here. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. You have to believe if it is to be, meaning if the situation is like this, it is up to me to react. So here you have to believe your control. You have to believe that how much you should own that problem, and how wide you want to spread it. You want to contain it to yourself, or you want to spread it over to others. And what is your endurance? It's time. How tahan mati? How long you can tahan to this? So these are actually the measurement to measure how high AQ a person has. This is very important. Why I say important? As a student, you come out be the new employee in your first job. Okay, that basically your boss will not expect you to contribute a lot of idea experience because you don't have experience, but he want to contribute you. He want you to be after come to that later, a warrior, a fighter, executor, something like a war. You know, you can withstand the heat and all those stuff. This is what they expect to you. And when you are at that stage, when you are young, that is your privilege. That is your privilege. You cannot say, I don't have that ability. You have. It is not the matter of you want it or not. It's a matter of you can do it or not. Okay? Okay, let me just a story to tell you this character, a story of carrot, an egg, and coffee bean. What does that mean? Okay, one day a small kid was crying back from school and complaining to the father, say in the school somebody bully him, da 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 da, and then cry, and then blame the world, blame the sky, blame the God, whatever. So the father took him into the kitchen, and then just quietly, and then take out 3 pot and 3 barang. One is a carrot, one is an egg, and one is a coffee bean. And then just cook it, and then just keep quiet. And then of course the kid don't know what to do and just look at it. After a while, then the father showed the kid, okay, what did you see? The difference here. I mean, after a while, everything cooked. Then the carrot say, oh yeah, before cook, the carrot is hard, but after cook, after boil, the carrot becomes soft. How about the egg? The egg, before cook is very fragile. Simple knock, it will break. But after cook, it become more rigid. Okay? Oh, good. How about coffee bean? And then the kid do not know what it is. Okay. Then what is the before and after? Before, it is water. And then the water cook the coffee. Okay? Torture the coffee, put it this way. But instead of being tortured, the coffee bean turned the water to be coffee, to become a new value. Meaning, even though that symbolizes a very tough situation, even though all the tough situation act on you, but if you have a high AQ, then you can turn around and make it into a new thing, to turn around the situation and you take the control. That is what I'm trying to say. Okay, this is a good moral for that. Now talk about man leader. Okay, we have heard about leader, we have heard about manager. Okay, leader, as we know, it is lead and to influence. Yeah, manager is to manage and administer. Yeah, so now we just can relate it something like leader is an aeroplane. They have to fly at 3,000 feet high. Look down, you can see everything. Whatever. You can see a forest. You can look at this forest, how big the forest, what's the shape of that forest. On the north, that is what. On the south, what you have. On the east and west, what you have. So you can see the forest. Just imagine you are 4-wheel drive related to a manager. You're driving inside the forest. Okay, you come across every tree. So every tree you see, but you got no idea how this forest look like. You do not know what is at the north side of this forest. You do not know what is at the south side of this forest. Okay, because there's no way you can see. So you only can see tree. And this guy, no way can see the detail of the tree. You only can see the forest. So actually, these are two extremes. One is a leader. The other one you can say is a manager or the lower ranking guy. But you as a new graduate, how you wish you can be in between. You must have that kind of a mentality. What does that mean? Just like helicopter. What the helicopter can do? Helicopter can pull out. Of course, it cannot pull to 3,000. You can at least pull to 1,000. So you can at least see a good, maybe 1,000 already can see a good view of the forest, even though it may not see all. Okay. At the same time, if it's something have a target, then you can, so long as you can find a launching pad, you can go down and then you can walk to the tree and take a look. So this is what I say. We need to be, I think for new graduate, employer are more value people having this. Okay. Now, not experience, the mindset. I'm talking about the mind because you don't have experience yet. So able to see both forest and tree. That is what I call man leader. Okay, coined by C.K. Tan. Okay, another thing is you as a new graduate, while you go into when you're in university, your job is just to make sure you pass all the things, you get a good grade, whatever. But when you come to the workplace, you are obligated, you are contractual to contribute because you get salary. Okay, in university, you can slip through, you can fail everywhere, nobody cares, only your parent will scold you. But when you come to workplace, every payday you get your pay, you cannot simply sit there and cari makan. There's no way. Okay, but same thing in a working environment, you are competing to your peers. You have all the competitor either in the same department or outside department, and you are working toward that you can get promoted. That's for sure. If not, what the hell you're going to work, correct? So now, just like in the class, you want to compete, you want to be the number one, you don't want to be the number last. So there are two things. Now, let me use the story. This is a very story that we always like mother always told children, a bedtime story. A tortoise and the rabbit, as we all know, okay, at halfway through the rabbit slept halfway and then end up with the tortoise finish up the line. Yeah, so the moral is parents always say, hey, you must learn as a tortoise, very persistent, never give up, work, work, work. Don't be arrogant, don't like a rabbit. I think that's always the moral. Until today, it's still the same. Now, I'm trying to challenge this wisdom. Okay, I try to challenge it. Now, this story is based on the finish line, meaning at the end of the day, the tortoise reached the finish line. What if you think a little bit creative. The time is before they start running. Then the rabbit approach the tortoise, say, hey, hello, Mr. Tortoise, let's have a race. Now, imagine if you were the tortoise, example only, if you were the tortoise, don't you know you'll be damn stupid to run with a rabbit? By then, mind you, you do not know the rabbit will sleep halfway because the race haven't started. So just like today, I'm come to you, I say, hey, mister, let's race in this highway. Let's race 10 kilometers. I'm riding a motorcycle, you barefoot. You think you can beat me? Common sense will tell you won't. But the question here is why, assuming the tortoise is not stupid, why the tortoise still want to go into the race? Tell me why. That time he haven't know, he will sleep halfway. Okay, it is for self-realization and a sense of purpose. Now, this is a very, very a different mindset. The tortoise at that juncture is not okay, when you talk competition is you and the other guy, A and B. Tortoise is at that time when he agreed to join, is not thinking of winning the rabbit. He don't even think of winning the rabbit. He just want to think of winning himself. He want to take this opportunity because under normal circumstances he won't do it. But now an opportunity for him to run, and he want to try to see what is a record that a tortoise can make for the reference for the other tortoise. And actually, he's trying to set a standard for the tortoise. He's taking the opportunity. That is the mindset. So you may understand, don't always think of a winning is something you have to beat the other, no. Okay, a sense of purpose is you have a purpose in mind and you believe in it, that's what I say, the instinct. Then you go for it and to win yourself, to win over yourself. Now, okay, when you compete with others, just like in the class, you always want to be a top student, the number one. You don't even want to be number two, of course. But in the whole class, there's only one number one. Okay, so sometimes a parent cannot expect a children to be number one in the class, but the parent can expect a children to be on the top batch of the class. The top batch can be 10, can be 15, can be whatever, doesn't matter. Okay, so what does that mean? Using this story, okay, again, two people walking in the forest, and then they met a hungry bear. Okay, the hungry bear have not been eaten for many days. So now look at two. Then of course the bear chased after them. And when the hungry bear run, actually he can run even faster than people. Okay, so both of them are running. This guy is chasing, and the distance become closer and closer. And out of sudden, the number A stop and then take off the shoes. Okay, and then the number B just say, what the hell? You know, even you take off the shoe, the bear can even run faster than you. Then the number A talk to the number B. Doesn't matter, so long as I can run faster than you. Okay, so if he run faster than you, then of course you know very well, this guy will catch him and then just makan him, and then this guy is safe. So sometimes you do not need to be absolutely best. You just need to be relatively faster, you relatively better. That is the mindset. You come to organization, a young man, You come to organization, you can set a goal as to be the best, but for sure, you must be more action-oriented and more realistic to be the relatively better. Relatively better is a keyword for a success person, okay? So here, there are two dimensions again. One is the mentality, one is the personality. Let me talk about personality first. Now, an employer would like to hire a person on the soft side, not only the your aptitude, meaning your whatever, your knowledge, your certificate, your double E, your ME, whatever. That's one consideration. Honestly speaking, not that important. Even though you're the high scholar, to me, it's just as a reference. I don't even care to a certain extent. Okay, what I really look at the person is whether you are a learner, you are a progressive learner or not. Okay, I don't care what had on you before. What are you and what will you be? That's the keyword. So normally we look at people into, simply put, at four categories as a symbolic. One is the explorer. Explorer is always very curious, very adventurous, and always look out for new things. That's a character, okay, a personality. The other character is artist. Artist is what? Very creative, very artistic, always create new things. And what is the judge? The judge is always very cautious, very logical, okay? And everything you evaluate and then very sure only move. Very, very a logical thinking guy. And what is a warrior? Warrior is the don't care one, just go and committed and very determined and just go and bulldoze through. Work 24 hours a day, 36 hours a day, also never mind one. You know, the mission is to complete. You know, they can withstand all the heat and all those stuff. So these are simply talk about four types. Some people are introvert, some people are extrovert whatsoever. But for me, as a new graduate, I will look like more on a warrior type, because I don't expect you to contribute your creativity yet. I don't expect you to be logical, to make judgment, because judgment can be made by your manager. I don't need you to explore new thing at this moment. Most of the thing already been explored. Yeah, of course, there's a new thing, but I don't expect you as a newcomer. But I want you to be a fighter. I want you to be a warrior. So you have to be that. That is something within you. You no need to, it's with you. Don't argue with me, okay? It's with you. You want to do it or you don't want to do it only. Okay, mentality is, there are two things. I think here, I don't know, it's called settler, meaning you are in a comfort zone. After a while, you start living. And then by the time you're in a comfort zone, you're the settler. You settle in that particular situation and you do not like changes. You reject changes. Okay. Now, with due respect, a government bureaucracy, the government, to a certain extent, is no change is a good thing. Okay. Now, the other thing is a pioneer. Whenever there's a leader come out with a new direction, always need pioneer to support, because the leader may have a vision. I want to do this, I want to do that, set the direction. But who's the first batch of people that you're going to go out to try without knowing whether trying will be successful or not? But at least you have to try. Without trying, there's no way you know. So the pioneer people will be making a lead and positive thinking and believe that will work. Even though in actual it will not work, it doesn't matter. Okay, then of course, if you take away the two extremes, the in between is migrator. These are kind of can be anywhere. Yeah. Now this one again, my idea came out from this book called The Peter Principle. That was again 18 years ago. This is easily 40 years ago. This book I still kept. Okay, by Dr. Lawrence Peter. It's a very famous principle. The principle said every employee tends to rise to his level of incompetence. Okay, here. That employee used to be a super competent guy. Example, school, again, this is just example only with due respect. A primary school teacher. And these teachers are so good. Even after school, he visited the children one by one, you know, do a lot of family visiting, blah, 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 on top of what he taught in the class. So as a result, he know all the students very well, and so the student at the end, I mean, do better than the other classes. So he's a super competent person. So because of that, he promoted to be a director in a student affair. Example, it's a promotion. Okay, So it's of course, when he become a student student affair administration director whatsoever, then he have to take care of a student. So still not too far away from what he is doing. Okay, so then, okay, let me come to here. Okay, let's say now you are the teacher. Okay, you perform very well, and then you promote to the next level. The next level, you become a student affair director, example. So when you come into that, of course, that's with expanded charter, because director and normal teacher, I think the scope of work, responsibility wise, definitely different. So immediately when you enter into that stage, your competence performance level is the best is half. Now you have three scenarios. Either you cannot perform, then after you promoted, then you become a deadwood, or you are okay to perform, just good enough to perform, then you become a survivor. But some people are very progressive. They can continue to add value to himself and go even at this new level. After transition, he do, and then you become a high performer in that level again. Then you go to the next level. Again, you repeat. Okay, either he will be settled in the next level. Let's say he become a deputy principal or something like that. So either he will survive, or he's lousy, or he will go to the principal, something. So this is what, again, I would say, you will face the same problem. When you come to that, you will either, of course, you start with that. Either you will stay in that, or you become a deadwood in that particular level, or you are just a survivor, meaning good enough to survive, or you are the progressor. Now that all have to be conditioned in your mind at this moment. You have to understand that will be the scenario. This is what I call the career progression trajectory. Okay. So the last one, it is problem solving. Now, of course, a problem solving skill is a motherhood statement. Everybody know the importance of problem solving, but how much problem solving capability you have? Do you really measure yourself, or do you know how to measure yourself? Of course, there's no way you know how to measure yourself, but at least you know how much skill, how much concept, how much conceptual approach of a problem solving methodology that you know. That is a very simple question you can ask yourself. If I ask you, tell me, how do you solve a problem? What is the approach that you, and then you look at me, and let's say during interview, you look at me, and then you are blah, blah. I can tell you, you are blank. You don't even know. By not knowing what you know or you don't know, how do I expect you to solve the problem? How do I expect you to be contributive? Simple as that. So you as a person must at least, of course, there are many books you can read on the problem solving whatsoever. There are many tools and many skills. But basically, I will try to lump up into two big categories. One is inside the box, the one is outside the box. Inside the box, everything inside the box, meaning the status quo. You are in that environment, okay? So when that environment, as I say, in manufacturing environment, always there's a problem because of the man interaction intervention between the man, the machine, the material, the method, the system, you name it, okay? So this is within the inside the box. Whenever there's a problem, many people try to be creative. Oh, let's inside the box, we have to be creative. We think something new, which is break the whole bloody thing, come up with a new thing. That is what called thinking outside the box. Okay. So for problem-solving approaches, I would say there are. If you ask me, this is my personal opinion. I would say these 5 are the key one. One is a very classical. I call it a Kapner trigo. I used to call it SAPADAPA, stand for situation assessment, okay, problem analysis, decision assessment or analysis or appraisal, and potential problem analysis. Okay, this book is a very classic book. He tells you very systematic way to analyze step by step the problem, the nature of problem. But again, I have to say that was 40 years back. That time, things are moving very slow. So the time is very slow. So most of the situation remains static for a long time. But today is a fast changing world. That may not work anymore, but the principles still work. So go and study this book. Now, what is inside the box? What is outside the box? Inside the box is what is you try to work on what is available or the constraint in your existing environment. Now, try to understand. Today, this situation or this environment is not newly created. It has been there for maybe 1 year, 2 years. Why it's been there for 1 or 2 years, meaning it's proven that it's work. It has been working. But why today we have a problem? There are two things. Either it's a new problem or there are some blind spot or some deterioration of something that so is out of balance. So meaning the solution actually is still within the system. So you should figure out, look at the thing, do a good root cause analysis, and try to see as much as you could to see what can be done within the system to unleash all those constraints. That should be the priority. Should you fail all these things, all the attempts have been exhausted, then only you go for outside the box, because maybe the new nature of the problem, the nature of the new problem is never been taught during the system when it was designed. So meaning the existing system cannot cater for the new nature of problem. So you have to do something, and then only you do outside the box. So not like people like, oh, we have to think outside the box, everything think outside the box. Wrong. Let me tell you what my experience tell me. 80% of the problem can be solved within the box. 20% only have to think of 80%. It's 80-20. You don't go to the 20% first. You go to the 80% first. Unless you get convinced, you really give up, surrender. Okay, I have to give way. Then only you go. That should be the right way. Okay, this is my. Now the next one is the rock logic versus water logic. Logic is a logic. We all know. Logic is something like you have a rule to follow. It's a rule based. Okay, it's a rule based. Okay, and we are also good. We are very good in all this conventional wisdom. One step by step sequential. When this happens, it will lead to what? We can think of all these are very rigid. Then I call it rock logic, and we are good at. But water logic is different. Water logic means what? It's a logic, but it's not a static environment. The situation will not status quo, meaning whatever happened today, you due to this environment, let's say a climate or certain thing, which is today climate and tomorrow is a raining day. They say today is a sunny day. You happen this way, okay? And then you find out, then tomorrow is a raining day. You apply the same thing, which you think is a solution on this. It may not work, because when certain, I call it the circumstantial meaning the surrounding environment change, which is not to your knowledge, because some of them you don't even know. Okay, when it happens, it may influence the nature of the problem. So you need to be water logic again. You need to be flexible, adaptive. Okay, the next one is this is a skill that you have to learn, not so much for you as a youngster, but more for manager. Ask smart question. Okay, this is an art. Okay, when you ask a right question, you have half the problem solved. If you know how to ask the right question. If you ask a lot of questions, never get to the point, then you may expect a lot of answer, but at the end of the day, you're still running the bush. You're still, So asking the right question and ask smart question is a skill. Yeah, and also try to understand the question lead to the next question, a question behind question. Like example, the 6W4H. Okay, some people say 5W2H, meaning this is a Japanese quality system managed way. But I expand it to 6W4H. What does that mean? I put it into a sentence. Who do what on which? What does that mean? Who meaning you have to assign. Whenever a question, you must identify who to do what. Okay, that is on which mean on what machine or what method. That is a what. And which, what is the activity? What is a which, meaning what is the target? Either is a machine, either is a people, either is a material. Okay, by when and where. That is very easy to understand. How to do it, how much you get to spend on it, either resources or money or whatever. Then you have to repeat how many times. Okay, and then you have to take how long to settle it. So if your question can cover all these things, that is considered a good question. If your question is answer yes, no, open-ended, I tell you that kind of question, you ask 1,000 questions also useless. So this actually is very depending. Asking question is a process. The quality of the question, it is another thing. That make the difference is the quality of the question. It's not how many questions, it's not the quantity of the question. Okay, the last one is unleash your uncommon common sense. Now, this is word I coined by me. Common sense, we all know, but let me tell you what. So many of us are born with common sense, but all those are uncommonly used. They never be used. Okay. Now, I will come to these few words, necessity versus sufficient, and the forest and the tree, and also see beyond the obvious. Yeah, what does that mean? The key word here is necessary and the sufficient. Just like a soup, whatever is this soup, potato soup or onion soup. You can't run away the prerequisite. You need to have water. No water cannot cause soup, correct? So water is necessary. Of course, there are other, but for sure, no water, there's no way you can call it soup. So water is necessary for soup, but water is not soup. Water is more than soup, because at the end of the day, you want to have an onion soup. You also need, of course, you ask me more, you have a water, you need to have an onion, you need to, these are all compulsory. But all this in front of you doesn't mean that you can come out with a good onion soup. You need other things. You need to cook it. You need the person who know how to cook it. You know whatever. Then only at the end, the outcome, the end product is a tasty and delicious onion soup. So this is a necessity and sufficient. So some people say, oh, I want to have a best onion. Well, this onion buy from is the best under the world. And then that relate to automatically you will come out with a delicious onion soup. Wrong, because there are sufficient factors you have to figure out. Okay, and then look beyond the obvious. The devil always hide in the subtlety, okay, in the detail, and logic at the high side. Meaning every logic actually somebody do something, there's actually a reason, a logic that may not be told or may not be seen upfront or blind spot. Now, maybe I would use a very simple short story to illustrate that. Let's say, example, if there's one day a person who are called by a tax officer to go to the tax office, and the tax officer the tax officer go to the person's home, okay, and want to issue him a summon because he never pay tax, but he live in a luxurious life. So he asked the person, let's say Mr. A, the tax officer asked Mr. A, hey, why you stay luxury and yet you don't pay tax, example. Then Mr. A say, oh, I make my income always through gambling, and I always win, I never lose. That's what he told the tax officer. Then the tax officer, you must be crazy. How can you be always win, never lose? For sure, you're bullshit. You're bullshitting. They said, okay, why not we bet and I prove to you. He said, okay, let's take a try. Okay, now, why not, Mr. Officer, like this? Mr. A said, let's bet 100 ringgit. I say, I will touch your hair, I will touch your nose, I will touch your ear, and you will become very angry, and you will yell at me. If you do that, you lose to me. That's what I predict. But if you smile, okay, then I lose to you. You want to bet? Okay, imagine if you are the tax officer. It is surely you can control. What the heck? I just don't want to be angry, then I win already. Was that right? Yes or no? So that, okay, bet 100 ringgit. Then 100 ringgit on the table, and then Mr. A touched the head, touched the nose, touched the ear, and then the tax officer, of course, he want to win, then he laughed. Then, of course, the tax officer won the 100 ringgit. Yes or no? Then he said, hey, look, Mr. A, see, how can you say you always win? I say, okay, Mr. Officer, you look at the window outside, there are 3 people peeping, looking inside. I bet with them 200 ringgit. I told them I will touch a tax officer's head and the nose and the thing, and yet he won't get angry, and yet he will laugh at me. Okay, so I lose you 100 ringgit, but I want them 200 ringgit. So I'm trying to use this as simple as there's a logic behind at the hindsight. Okay, so when you are a youngster, you need to understand. Don't look at things on the surface. You must look further in. Okay, last bit publicity. I'm now coming up with a new book on by next year. 14 June is my birthday. So the book is called Uncommon Common Sense in Manufacturing Excellence. I will emphasize a lot of all my experience, which I've seen. Today, common sense is no longer common, even though we are all born with it, but no longer common. So be uncommonly different. Okay, travel the path less traveled and explore new horizon with deeper look and broader view. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. CK. So very interesting. So you had shared so many books in your slide, I think, which is very valuable. So we would like to open this session for the Q&A. So we still have like 5 to 10 minutes for the Q&A. So please unmute your microphone and ask directly to Mr. CK. So anyone have questions? Let me just scroll down. I think Raymond have one question in the chat box, right?
Yes, can you read it out so that, instead of me asking, it's good that, we practice the writing on the chat box.
Yeah. Okay, so I will read for you, okay? So the question is on the point on environment in the fundamental of manufacturing excellence. Apart from providing conducive workplace, which is essential, there are external expectations for reducing hazardous waste and even carbon footprint. More so, the new graduates are more vocal with the social media experience on such matter. What will be your thought on this?
If I heard the question, why is more on like the new graduate, they are more new generation, they are more environmental conscious.
Yep.
And they may even try to understand the policy of the company in terms of environmental safety, carbon footprint, blah, blah, blah. Is that right?
Yep.
So when we encounter such a student, whether we will take them as a rebellious or we take them as a future star, is something? Is it what the
Yes.
you say whether the company welcomes such people we've had that now?
And yeah. So.
Okay, there are two. Let me use this word. To be honest, I want to be more blunt and more straightforward. Okay, having a very good idea on this environmental, I think it's definitely is a thing must have. Okay, we have to be environmental safety, but we also try to understand to map it with the reality. I just use an example. If you are born in a poor family when you are young, parents are not a high income. Do you expect that your lifestyle can be as good as a rich man's son? Cannot. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get the message wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have whatever. Every one of the factory here we have done is a continuous improvement to embark on this environmental protection, to make our environment more conducive, especially the working ambient, meaning how to make sure that we have a more conducive working environment. Now, there are two things. One external, more on the external, let's say carbon pollution and all. The other one is internal. Internal, there are a lot of things already, the harmony, the comfort, the many things, the psychological thing. Okay, so many companies definitely, I believe, they put more effort inside the internal. For external, okay, there are two types. If your industry is a non-polluted industry, by default, there's no pollution. But on the contrary, if your industry is a polluted industry, example, the oil refinery, the coal refinery, whatsoever you name it. Okay, so you have to admit a lot. So definitely, the Department of Environment will impose a strict requirement for them to operate within certain guidelines. So when you are the new employee, you join that kind of company, you cannot say, hey, why you emit pollutant? You cannot say that. That is irrelevant. But you can question, hey, why you do not follow DOE, Department of Environment kind of a safety rule? You bypass here, you do a lot of hanky-panky thing. Then, if you are that type of person, I can tell you, you can talk to the management, and the management refuse and even put you as a rebellious. I tell you, my first thing to do is to throw in the letter. Why the hell you want to work for such a company? You have a choice. You are not the employee, you are your boss. You are the boss of your own body. You can just walk out without, because you have been certified, this is a screw up company, I'm not going to work.
Yeah.
So it's very important. As a person, you must have a self-pride. As a person, you must have a self-confidence. Okay, you must know what having a good ideology is never wrong, never wrong. But again, try to understand. Cannot be too idealistic. Have to be realistic. That's my keyword. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, is there any questions?
Hello. I have a question
Yep.
for CK.
Yes, Anderson.
Okay, as I observe, the SME in Johor or in many places, they have not embarked onto IR 4.0, maybe due to the financial difficulty or constraint. So when NationGate first trying to implement IR 4.0 in your factory, so what are the consideration and how do you actually calculate the return of investment, things like that enable you to to embark on that?
Okay,
You understand my
you.
question, right? So what are the considerations?
Clear. Thank you, Dr. Sun. I think that's a very fundamental question for people who want to embark on IR 4.0. And also, I would like to continue to educate our industry as my social obligation as a Malaysian to the industry. The adoption of 4.0, people may misunderstood it that it means big money because all kind of you look at the 9 technology because the IR 4.0 is characterized by the 9 technology, and all these 9 technology, robotic lah, this crowd lah, this and that, whatever expensive software, all money. Now the SME say, hey, I'm too far from that. First thing first, I don't even know where am I. And there are so many things, just like you go into the supermarket, you don't even know what to buy if you don't have an end in mind. So that's always the case. So now everybody know that spend money is for good ROI. Actually, ROI is return of investment, but more importantly is the value. Now the value got 2. One is as I mentioned, the fundamental. The customer satisfaction Kpi, it is your survival. Like it or not, whatever you do, you have to achieve it. If the customer look at you like you are a nobody, you are nobody. Simple as that. You can claim you are the best under the sun. Useless. Okay? So in this regard, in the eye of the customer, they have their own expectation. Now, like our factory, we are dealing with the world-class customer because we have serving different customer in different domain, in telecommunication, instrumentation, networking, computer line, medical, aviation, automotive. So they are all the world-class brand name. Definitely, they have to be responsible to the consumer. So they have to make sure whatever the product done by their subcontractor like us must fulfill all the things, especially today the expectation is traceability. Now, because things go just like I believe you heard about this, a Toyota kind of, not Toyota, with Toyota car, but the airbag. The airbag after 1 year, 1.5 years only start seeing problem. But over the 1.5 years, I don't know how many Toyota car have been sold. So they have to recall because it's dangerous. It happened. It's a fatal. So things of this. That's why automotive, medical, aviation, these three industry, their quality system, they call it the ISO quality system, is totally different. They emphasize a lot of traceability to the very detail. Meaning 1 year later or whatever year later, when happened, you can trace back, they can do a quarantine. So this become a traceability to the component level or one piece. Okay, just example, last time, 10 years back, 15 years back, when we built a whole lot by batches. Let's say one batch equal to 1,000 units. That's called one batch. So when we want to trace also, we trace to the batch. But today cannot. They don't allow you to trace to the batch. They want to trace to the individual unit. So meaning every individual unit, you have their own ID, you have the QR code, have their own identity. And just to let you know, one day in terms of unit, the whole factory, we can produce close to a few, more than 2,000, 10 over 20,000 pieces of component. And it's dynamic. So you can imagine if you don't have this data automation, how are you going to capture all this huge data? Everyone have their own, and they want to know this unit go through this series of process at what time, on what machine, by who. That kind of information. How do you use a pen and paper to track? No way. But if you don't do so, even though it may not be this thing, but he fall under the traceability criteria. Then they give you a chance. If you don't make sure this happen, you cannot give me the kind of a good traceability. I get an option to relocate your quota to others if your competitor equipped that with that capability. Now, what we need to do is definitely invest money in a system, in the IoT, in the barcoding, in many, because all the machine itself, we have a scanner. Everything you go through automatically, the QR code of that thing will be captured. So these are all investment, and it's not for cost, it's not for profitability, it's for customer expectation. Because customer always have better choice. You have to understand. That's why I say we are just rolling against this world is not static. Your competitor always find way to outbid you. So adopting of IR 4.0 depends on how elaborative you want to go into. Is in the eye. It depends on how affordable you are and what are the priority you want to set. So when we do this we do for two things. We believe investment is a hockey stick. Definitely, it will take a while. But some of them are intangible. Some of them are customer expectations. You cannot measure by ROI one. It's a must. It's a must-have. If you don't have, become a survival issue. Something like this. So that's a very. I think Dr. Sun, you asked it's always a very tough question, a challenge to the management. Even though I can say it in like very easy, but it's not that easy. Yeah.
Meaning that the SME have to prioritize what they want to IR 4.0.
When you talk to
benefit to them.
When you talk to SME, I would like to take this opportunity to work with UTHM, okay, on the SME. Knowing many SME, they are actually still not data automated. They are not whatever. They are still a little bit conventional, whatever. So not necessarily they have to adopt the 9 pillar. No, even though they adopt and although on a basic skill. Basic skill is not really that expensive. Okay, it is something like, I would say, you just imagine you are the cook, you are the chef. Now in front of you, there's all the ingredients. Because you are already an experienced chef, you look at it, you know how to mix, let's say you are how to mix how much chili, how much salt, how much, to make sure that the dish itself not over spicy, not over salty, because you are the chef. You understand? So we need a chef. We need someone to guide the SME. They are not. For people like you guys experience, like we as industry, we can go to the SME, look at it, we can recommend what are the things in the IR 4.0 context and concept to adopt, to help them to meet their, to help them to improve the productivity, to help them to improve the quality and lower cost. These are things can be done. But in the concept of IR 4.0, not necessarily the technology, the high-end technology of IR 4.0. So that need us. I think SME need us. Yes.
Okay, thank you. That's very good insight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sun. Thank you, TCK, for the answer. Is there any other question? Because I think we just run out of time actually. So any other last questions before we go? I think we want to have a photo session before we end our.
Yeah, how to have a photo session? You have to
Yeah.
teach me. You control.
Yeah, we can just you can just unshare your screen so that I can display
Unshare my
on the
screen.
screen.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay, that's good. Okay. For those who have a camera, please switch on your camera. I will take a print screen of all. Okay. Thank you very much, Tansi. Okay, please smile. We have a.
I have my friend Idrus. Idrus on the. Oh, Idrus, you look handsome today, huh? All right, man.
Okay, first screen, first page, and then smile. Second page. Third page. And come back to the first page. All right, smile. All right, thank you very much, everyone. So I just text my Datuk VC. He sent his regard to you, CK.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I joined this because
Nice.
it's an event. So I think that will be the end of our session. So after this, we can have a unofficial chit chat. So anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you very much for everyone for joining in this morning event. So we have put the link in the chat box. If you need a e-certificate, you can just fill in the form. Later on, we will email you the e-certificate. And we have learned a lot of insight from the CK, and I think we'll be very grateful. In the future, maybe we can have some others, CEO or the friends that willing to share from the industrial point of perspective, which is, I think we don't have that in the university. So we really need your support and your help in order so that we can expose our students with the real activity in the industry. So thank you very much.
I think I saw a few pictures whom I know definitely is with all the profound knowledge in experience in industry. They are. I would like to take this opportunity to appeal to those people. It is always good for us now with again with the webinar become so common now. What need from you is 1 hour, 2 hours from your wisdom of your time to share your wisdom to benefit the society. Okay, especially to our new graduate. As you know, today our Malaysian competitiveness in a flat world. We cannot just rely on just our academician to do the job. We industrialists believe we are given we are very blessed to be given such a good exposure in our experience by the multinational to train us, to expose us to the the exploitation or the deployment of all this new technology. All these things is experiential knowledge. Experiential is the word. Experiential. Now, what take you to spend 2 hours to share? Nobody don't really care. You don't need to be like me is a lousy guy also. Never mind, I can share. You know, this is very important. I think the willingness and the passion. So I will appeal to those online whom I may not know to come forward to UTHM, Dr. Nafa, to work on it. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for your support, CK. So I'll put my email in the chat box, and maybe so that anybody who have the question and we can just to share, you can just give me a text as well.
Yeah, I think the session is over, officially over and adjourned.
Yeah, okay. So I think we end the session
keep,
officially. Thank you very much, CK.
We will keep a while. I hope you don't mind. Maybe some of the people online that we can be free chatting and recording stop already. Then we can we can actually free chat.